Rise of the Chin.
Hey guys, MainKiller7 here, the Radical Ranter. And it's been a while since I've done a video quite like this. I mean, it's been a bit too long in my opinion. But I'm going to talk to you about the racial dividing that's happening here in America. All this race baiting shit that's happening because of the media, because of this terrorist shit stain from Kenya, Obama, who I still... Honestly, if you know my videos, if you know me, you know I think he should be tried on treason, found guilty, and then executed, as is the norm for spies and traitors. A point I'd like to make, real fast. Why do they get away with breaking laws? The government and those who have wealth or power. Why do they get away with it? Whereas people like you, me, the neighbor, our neighbor, a family, loved one, why would we be persecuted for breaking the same law, if not killed, when they get a free pass? What? Because they have money? That's a pathetic excuse, and that basically devoids you of any responsibility, and that shows you're weak. You don't have the gut to rise up and speak out. That means you don't have no voice. That means you're a silent little obedient dog. Pretty much. If you think these criminals are working for your interests, they are working to divide America as it stands, racially. The shooting that happened down at the church not too long ago was on race, yes. But that's just one person. But you know why he probably felt that way? Is because of idiots. The black idiots, like the ones down in Ferguson, and the one that are calling this a racist cop. They called Officer Darren Wilson, who was well within his rights to shoot this criminal, Mike Brown. Like the deal down in Trayvon Martin, the criminal wannabe son of this criminal terrorist Obama. And then the one down in McKinney, Texas, I think it was, where this black girl got put on the ground for running her mouth. And he didn't shoot nobody, though. That cop was well within his rights to do exactly what he did. Nobody was shot, nobody was hurt. All of that was legal. But it's the race baiters that are blowing this shit out of proportion. On complete stupidity. And it's the media that's keeping this going. And it's idiots like you playing right into their hands. So foolish. So stupid. So pathetic. One track mind. That's all you got. You're so simple-minded. You got one track mind. You got one way in front of you. There's no backup. You can't hit reverse. There's people behind you. What are you going to do? Run them over to get the fuck off the road? You should have done that at the turn exit. The road Y's off. Here's your childhood. Here's the adulthood path. Y's off, right? Childhood, oncoming traffic. Common sense, one track mind. And you went the fast track. The fast track. You went the wrong way, and now you see it's going downhill into a pit of spikes. But all the signs on the side of the road are saying, "Good job, keep going, you're going for it, you're in a good lane." Well, the common sense didn't look so good. Common sense just didn't look as good. It doesn't to many. So they're not born with it. They don't choose it. Ignorance is bliss. But it's also a curse. Willful ignorance is pathetic. if you choose to keep playing into the hands of these criminals, these race baiters, you're the reason this country is in the state it's in. Because you play into this shit. You don't question authority. You rely on them telling you, oh, the whites are bad, or the blacks are bad, the Mexicans are bad, the Jews are bad. You rely on this shit. They rely on you believing that shit. MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, CNN, BBC. You rely on that shit to tell you who's the enemy. And they're the enemy, though. And you're deceived. You got the wool pulled over your eyes so fucking... And you got it laid on so fucking thick, you wouldn't even be able to see them pointing a gun right at your fucking face, and they'll tell you the guy behind you is. And you'll believe them until they put a bullet through your head. And that's your fault. You're the one to blame for that, if you die. At that point. Not them. You played right into their hands. The enemy is the government as it stands, and if you people continue buying into this shit, you're the one at fault. And there are black people raised up to never trust the white man. Those parents, their parents, the one that raised them, are to blame. They failed as a parent. And there are white people raised up the same fucking way, vice versa, and those people failed as a parent. And they raise their kids the same way, and they fail as a parent. And the cycle continues. Black, white, pink, it doesn't fucking matter. Skin color is irrelevant. Now, on scientific methods, that's a bit different. But I'm talking on social issues. It is irrelevant. It does not fucking matter. There are some people I talk to at work, or rather I sit around. I work at a call center. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black people who sit around me. I sit around a total of 12 people, the rest of them being white. One of them told me this, and thank you, retard, you made the news. My version, at least. She said this, in verbatim. The Emancipation Proclamation freed all the slaves. Now, if you're kind of a history buff, you already know exactly what was wrong with that statement. With what she said. Okay, if you haven't figured it out by now, the Emancipation Proclamation did not free the slaves. It freed, and I quote, the slaves in rebellion to the U.S. So for several states, and approximately 4 of them, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, they still had slaves. Slavery was still legal in these states. Can you guess which ones? I'm not going to spoil that for you. But the Emancipation Proclamation freed the slaves in the South, those states that were rebelling against the government. I'll say it again. In rebellion to the U.S. government. Now, this time, the U.S. government is good. Okay? Now, I don't care how you want to boil it down, how much you want to say Lincoln was bad, bloody, 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 whatever the fuck. Your problem is with that war, or with the North at that point, the Civil War was about slavery. And that's a big issue. But for those 4 slave states, just those 4 states, what flag represented those states? What flag still represented slavery after the war was over? can you guess? And it wasn't the stars and bars, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't the stars and bars. It wasn't the yeehaw, the Southern flag. No. It was that flag you salute and you love so much. It was the American flag. The stars and stripes and 50 stars. That was the flag that still represented slavery after the Civil War ended. In 4 northern states that never seceded from the Union. And I do want to point out, there was one state that broke off from the South and rejoined the Union. West Virginia. Good people. Doubt they're the same way anymore, but oh well. But there's so much shit wrong here. It's pathetic. If you fall into the race bait shit, you're nowhere near. You're no better than these criminals in power. If you believe this shit. If you fall into the race baiting, you cannot consider yourself a human. On any level. Subhuman, maybe. Part human. You fall into the same shit that the Civil War was kind of based upon. Oh, you got a different skin color to me, so you're not as good. You're not as bright. You're not as intelligent. You're not as strong. There are black people smarter than me. There's black people I'm smarter than. There's white people smarter than me. There's white people dumber than me. The same goes with Mexicans. The same that goes with the Blue Army men. To name one smarter and stronger than me. Mike Tyson and, I forgot, but he's, fuck. Oh well. Weird Al Yankovic. Brock Lesnar. He's dumber than me, but smarter. He's dumber than me, but stronger. Got my words mixed up there. Happens, we're all human. Black person is just as apt to make the mistake as a white person is. Skin color doesn't matter. If you fall into this race bait shit, you are nowhere near. You disgrace humanity as a whole if you race bait or you are a race baiter. No. Fuck off. That's all I pretty much wanted to say. I had to attack this at a whole. And the shit that went down in Ferguson, that is why there are racist supremacy groups gaining power. Because of the shit that went down in Ferguson. Because the blacks the majority of them, are causing this shit. They're falling into the race bait shit. And they're causing the whites to get scared. They are escalating this war into a race war. If they want it, they'll get it. There was one site that said the blacks should be segregated, sent back to Africa. Well, because they're too violent. They prove time and time again that they're too violent to live among the white people. Those people in Ferguson are kind of proving them right. Just how I see it. You guys want to stop this? Be an actual human. Have some common sense. Actually think. Throw your own 2 cents in. You know? Be a human. Have some guts. Have some courage. Stand up. Speak out. Use your voice. Or be the obedient little dog of the puppet government. Race war. That's what we got coming. This shit continues. This has been MainKiller7, guys. The Radical Ranter.